Bonjour, bonjour, c'est Toubib, j'espère que vous allez bien. Nous nous retrouvons pour la suite de Enderal, et précisément pour la suite de l'histoire de la Ralata, avec les sombres recoins de notre esprit. Nous avons vu quelque chose de bizarre dans le rêve la dernière fois. On en parle à Taraël, et après, on va voir le premier voyant, comme prévu. Ah, trop bien, j'ai oublié qu'il disait des trucs des fois, avec sa conscience. Maintenant encore un petit peu sur qu'ils disent autre chose. Non, c'est tout? D'accord, c'est tout. Voilà. Il y a ma petite fille qui est avec moi. Hop là. J'espère qu'elle va s'installer un petit peu pour être tranquille. Pour l'instant, elle est un peu agitée, mais. Chut.
Interesting. I was just thinking about you.
Voilà, nickel. Vraiment? Pourquoi?
Ah, never mind. What is it?
Pouvez-vous m'accorder un moment? Il y a quelque chose que je dois vous demander.
What?
J'ai vraiment savoir plus sur les règles et leur foi.
Why?
Parce qu'il faut connaître ton ennemi.
Fine. I can give you the essentials, but beyond that, I can't be bothered. Ask.
Que signifie devenir un Ralaïm?
Above all else, to leave your old life behind you. All contact is buried, all bridges burned. Most Volesprit call themselves orphans even if they once had a family. In other words, if you conscribe yourself to the Relator, the Relas and his teachings are your new life and the Relaim your new family. Everything you do, everything you think, everything you dream is subject to the goal of achieving transcendence. Liberation from the human body.
Depuis combien de temps la Ralata existe-t-elle?
Since the father founded it, 400 years ago.
Attendez, le père a 400 ans?
Correct.
Comment est-ce possible? Même les éternels ne vivent pas aussi longtemps.
Nobody knows. But I would guess it had something to do with his experiments. All those children's corpses must have been good for something, don't you think?
Quels sont vos devoirs donc Ralaïm en tant que voix en particulier?
This and that. Most of the time I'm busy reminding the residents of the Undercity to pay their shadow tax, and to make them feel the consequences if they don't.
Quelles conséquences?
Anything from a clout to the ear to a knife between the ribs.
Attendez, vous voulez tuer le père pour le bien du monde, mais ça ne vous dérange pas de tuer des gens pour la Ralata?
All right. Two things. First of all, I've killed no more than a handful of people for the Relator. And they weren't poor women with babes sucking at their teats, but scum, who knew the rules and thought they could play rebel. Believe me, it takes a lot for the Relator to order the death sentence for someone. They are criminals, yes, and they are led by a monster, but they are not stupid. If every misdemeanor were to be punished by decapitation, it wouldn't be long until there'd be a revolt in the Undercity. Secondly, nothing in life comes for free. If you think you can achieve something of relevance without compromising a part of yourself, then you're a fool. The death of the father could be worth 100 dead cutthroats, and I'd put arrows into each of their chests if it would get me any closer to my goal.
Non, on n'a rien voir.
You can trust me on one thing, though. Killing these people, it didn't come easy. And some of the things that I did to not lose my cover will haunt me to the grave. But you know what? Sad as it is, the world needs people like me. All these do-gooders who think they could fight evil without getting their hands dirty are self-righteous idiots. The monsters of this world, the murderers, the tyrants, You need to speak their language if you want to be a threat to them. Everything else is a delusion.
Alors, retour. Si le père a raison et que la transcendance est éminente, ne pourrait pas attendre, et tant qu'à la tête contre tout le trouver les noms s'attendront. Voilà, ça c'est bien, ça c'est.
It is. Why?
Comment la Ralata règne-t-elle exactement?
Well, actually, it's simple. Everybody who lives down here and earns money has to give a part of that to the relator every month and get protection in return. This applies to everybody, from beggar to crime lord.
Et s'ils n'ont vraiment rien à donner?
That's an exception.
Quelle est la puissance de la Ralata en termes de force de frappe?
You mean when it comes to killing cocky bandits and vatires? Quite powerful. I don't think you'd find more skilled sinistropes or assassins anywhere else. Of course, in a fair duel with a keeper, most voices would probably end up in the dirt. But that's not how people fight down here.
Et l'ordre n'a pas de problème avec ça.
On the contrary, the Order is quite happy with the way things are going down here. They take care on the shiny surface, and the Relata take care of the stinking caves below.
Allez, on se calme. Je pense que le père m'a appelé.
Called you? What do you mean? Did he send a messenger?
Non. J'ai fait un rêve dans lequel j'ai vu un homme en robe. Il m'a dit que je devrais chercher le premier voyant et lui dire que l'aube arrive.
Psionics. Figures.
Attendez, vous voulez dire que le père est réellement son rêve?
No, it wasn't your dream. It was an illusion. He must have planted it in your head while you were at the temple and simply triggered it last night. A mental puppet play, if you want to call it that.
Pourquoi l'aube arrive?
No idea. Probably some kind of passphrase.
Que dois-je faire?
Well, go see him. You'll see what this is all about then, but I'm pretty sure he's considering you for the mission. And this is his last test. In other words, our plan has worked.
Alors je dois jouer le jeu.
Correct. And, thank you for filling me in on this.
Allez, fais tout de mon petit jet, fais de doche. Voilà. Tiens. Par contre, je crois pas que j'avais des idées. Oh, ça va. Ça va. Ça va. Eh oh. Bah oui, il y avait la place là. Tu vas me gêner si tu... Bon, je laisse aller derrière mon clavier, mais ça veut dire qu'il va y avoir des mouvements intempestifs de souris, je vous préviens. Mais je sais que t'es belle, ma chérie. Bien sûr que je sais que t'es belle, mais juste que tu restes calme pour que je puisse enregistrer tranquillement. Ah, il est en train de tout pousser là. Et on peut le jouer. Petite difficulté.
Stranger, what brings you here?
Peut-on négocier de nouveau?
What do you need?
Attention, ouais, c'est le micro qui va prendre. Non, ma chérie, t'es un peu chiante, hein, t'es un peu agité là ce matin. Allez, on reste là. Chut. Alors, qu'est-ce que je peux vendre? Qu'est-ce qui prend de la place? Pas grand-chose en vrai, je pense. Hein. Non. Ah, grille de lit, faut que je mange. Bah rien du coup. Et toi, qu'est-ce que tu peux... Je sais pas si je vais mettre... Oh, c'est... Gardez pas sous la main. Non, non, chat, reste là, reste là. Regarde un site très intéressant, ça. Un chat. Non, 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 allez, top. T'as failli renverser ma tasse. Top, top. Voilà, chat, failli renverser ma tasse. C'est une catastrophe. Premier voyant.
You? I thought my instructions were clear. Wait until you hear from us.
Oui, j'ai fait un rêve.
A dream?
J'ai vu un homme vêtu d'une robe qui m'a dit de vous trouver et que l'aube arrive.
That? Oh, I understand. Then go see Brother Sorrow at once
Mon
and
cher.
tell him the same thing. He will lead you to the Father.
Allez, arrête de faire un métier là. Je pensais que le père ne se montrait que rarement, même à vous.
That is correct. Which is why I hope that you realize how great an honor this is.
Pourquoi l'aube arrive?
It doesn't matter.
L'aube. La fin de la nuit. Bref. Bien, on peut jouer, frère Tristesse.
Go up to the tower, deeper into the mountain. At the end of the hallway, you'll find stairs ending in a wall. Now go. The Father must not be kept waiting.
I beg you, brother, just 5 minutes.
No.
But I am
Go.
ready. I can feel
Le père veut me voir. L'aube arrive.
I understand. You may pass.
Passer par où? Ces escaliers mènent droit dans un mur?
Descend. You'll see.
last step is near. I want to be there when it's done.
No.
You'll see. You'll see.
Ah, pardon, c'est que du dérobé. Ah oui. Nuit, bof. On sort de bof. Je vais faire inconnu. C'est incroyable quand même. Est-ce que j'ai le credo avec moi? Pas le credo avec moi. Je suis un peu con quand même. Village troublé, village troublé. Ah, c'est une bibliothèque, d'accord. Oh oh. Il est arrivé. Festival. Ouais. Ouais. Je l'ai. Là, je suis même presque de l'avoir. Désolé, hein. C'est juste que je viens de penser à ça là, donc je... Bien. On va totalement... une question de principe. Non, on s'en fout. Allez. Non, je pense pas que... Pas qu'il y a un impact en réel. C'est lequel de police là?
So you received my message. Good. Come, take a seat. I will be with you in a moment.
Et vendre cœur humain 200 reclas. J'aime plus tel magistral. Très bien, très bien, très bien. Allez, parti.
Well then, good to finally meet you in person. I would introduce myself to you, but you already know who I am.
Je suppose, bien que vous soyez différent de ce que j'avais imaginé.
Well, you are not the first person to say that. The first seer has already told me about you. He said that you and Brother Wrath recovered the lost pages, and also that you are, how should I say, unusual. He did not lie, as I see now. You do indeed have something peculiar about you. Tell me, how do you feel about Brother Wrath, Farewell, as you call him?
Putain, salaud cynique.
Is he? Interesting. Be that as it may, the first seer had nothing but praise for you, and suggested that I consider you for our expedition, and I have, provided that you are still interested.
Oui.
Good to hear. The formalities first. You will receive 250 pennies in advance, and another 250 if the mission turns out to be a success. A generous pay, as you no doubt realize. I assume you know that it will be dangerous. Nonetheless, I would like you to understand the background of this undertaking fully if you are to work with us. Come. I present the human body, a simulacrum.
Donc ce n'est pas un vrai humain.
It's not.
Pourquoi me montrer ça?
As I said, I want you to understand. Does the name Manit Dalgalang sound familiar to you? The man who left his body?
Non.
He was one of the former Grand Masters of the Order, a righteous man, but also of a very reclusive nature. It is said that Dalgalang had always been a little peculiar. In the few records that are left of him, he once described how he never felt as though he belonged in this world. Thus, he made freeing himself from this sense of estrangement his purpose in life.
Il avait le sentiment de ne pas faire partie de ce monde.
Yes, as though life was a bad play that his body was forced to take part in. Dalgallang despised all the other things people enjoyed. He didn't copulate, ate only as much as his body needed, and slept very little.
Que lui est-il arrivé?
Well, one day he vanished, just like that, in the bright light of day, during one of his meditations at the Eye of the Gods. Even though there were observers, the Order didn't record his vanishing in the chronicles for obvious reasons. According to them, Dalgallang simply disappeared on a pilgrimage.
Et vous pensez que sa disparition avait quelque chose à voir avec sa mission pour surmonter cette séparation?
I believe so. He succeeded in freeing his spirit from the vessel of his body, and the strange occurrences that happened after confirm my theory. His mother, for example, insisted that he visited her in spectral form at the death feast, and told her that he was sorry. His servant, who was the closest thing Dalgallang had to a friend, heard his voice when he laid down flowers at his pathstone. Or the keepers, who saw a ghost meditating in his former laboratory at night. All coincidences or phantasms, you may say, but to me, it is clear that Dalgallang achieved his goal. He managed to separate his soul from his body. He achieved transcendence.
C'est donc de là que votre foi est née, la disparition de Dalgallang.
I suppose you could say that, yes. Dalgallang was among the first humans to realize how misguided we are and how little of our potential we actually use. When I first heard his story, I instantly recognized myself in him. In particular, his fascination with the idea of overcoming our fleshly nature. I was enthralled and made this idea the purpose of my life, which finally led me to found the Relata. Frankly, I still find it baffling how few people share this quest. All they care about is the satisfaction of their carnal desires. They are so proud of what separates them from a pig, and yet they achieve little else in their lives. Eat, copulate, die. And all it would take to show them what their minds are capable of would be a glimpse into their dreams. Either way, I digress.
Quel est le rapport avec les rêves?
Well, are we not freer in our dreams than we could ever be in waking life? We can have our bodies take on every shape there is, and time and space are meaningless. Imagine having this kind of freedom in reality.
Bien, alors votre objectif est d'atteindre la transcendance, l'expédition est dans ce but.
Exactly, and that's where you come in. As it turns out, the secret to transcendence was hidden in the lost pages of J.L. Tannyson's book, where he describes his initiation ritual in the Room of Paintings.
Comment pouvez-vous les lire? Kalian a dit qu'elles ont été écrites dans une langue seulement connue des prêtres de la Balance Noire.
It's not some kind of room. The Room of Paintings is a force of
Non!
nature, one that has the power to change you in a way that far exceeds. Either way, and that's where we will finally set.
Désolé, mais... Ça me saoule un peu, quoi. Hop, on trash. On va relancer. Non, je déteste que ça fait ça. Alors ça, pour le coup, ça me saoule. Mais ça me saoule! J'ai pas cliqué du tout là-dessus, en fait. Moi, j'avais une session où les chargements étaient rapides. Une fois. Donc je pense à couper le
I
montage.
would introduce myself to... Well, the first... He did not tell me. How do you feel? Be that as it may, the first... Good to... I assume you know that it will be dangerous. Nonetheless, I would like you to understand the background of this undertaking fully if you are to work with us. Come. I present the human body. As I said, I want... He was a righteous man. It is in the few... Thus, he made freeing himself... Well, just like... During one... Even though, according to them, Dalga... his servant... All coincident. I suppose when I first... Frankly... And all it would take to show them what their minds are capable of would be a glimpse into their dreams. Either way... Well, we can have our bodies take on exact. As it turns out, the secret to transcendence was hidden in the lost pages of J.L. Tannyson's
on en revient là.
Where he describes his... That is correct. But I have had the pleasure of talking to some of them over the centuries, and was able to convince them to divulge their secrets to me.
Voilà, ça c'est important quand même. Mon père a réussi à parler à des prêtres de la balance noire et a réussi à négocier qu'il lâche leur secret. Comment une salle pourrait vous aider à vous détacher de votre corps?
It's not some kind of room. The room of paintings is a force of nature, one that has the power to change you in a way that far exceeds the ability of normal magic. Either way, I will spare you the details. What you need to know is that we believe the room of paintings to be inside a temple we excavated over the past years. And that is what this expedition is about. You and the other mercenaries will venture into its depths and establish a portal for my relame and me to step through once you found the room, where we will finally sever our minds from our bodies.
Pour que vous puissiez entrer dans la chambre et séparer votre âme de votre corps.
Correct.
Si ça fonctionne, que deviendra la Ralata?
It will prevail. Only the relame who have proven themselves worthy will ascend with me. The rest of them will stay behind with the first seer, who will take over the mask. Then, when the time comes, they will follow us.
Attendez, vous n'allez pas emmener toutes vos brebis avec vous?
No. First, because I have reason to believe that the weak-willed among us wouldn't survive the separation. Second, because our teachings are too important to risk them getting lost. Someone needs to continue spreading our faith.
Très bien. Qu'est-ce que c'est exactement ce temple?
What it is or who built it, I can't say. Only that it must have been an ancient civilization, and by ancient, I mean one that existed long before the Pyreans. The Black Libra, the cult the Butcher of Arp belonged to, merely used this place to conduct their rituals of initiation.
Où est-ce?
In the Frost-Cliffed Mountains. That's where you will go.
Je vois. Pourquoi engager des mercenaires? Vos voix ne peuvent-elles sécuriser un passage?
They could, but the temple is dangerous.
En d'autres termes, nous sommes de la viande à troll?
Only if you let them eat you. According to my research, 4 groups need to enter the temple simultaneously through its 4 individual entrances. These groups will be made up of 2 mercenaries and 1 voice each to guide you. Once you've found the temple, your mission will be considered a success, and you will be paid. Any questions?
À quel genre de danger peut-on s'attendre dans le temple?
I don't know. Finding that out is part of your mission.
Quand partons-nous?
As soon as possible. After this conversation has ended, you will make your way to the excavation site and wait for my arrival. Since you've already worked with Brother Wrath, you will form a group with him and another mercenary I will choose myself. Do you have a map? Show me. Good. This is where you'll find the site. I recommend you take a myriad to the Frostcliff Tavern and walk from there.
Très bien, je vous verrai là-bas.
You will.
Puis-je poser quelques questions avant d'entreprendre l'expédition?
Ask.
À propos de la Ralata,
Yes.
c'est tout ce à quoi vous aspirez la transcendance. Pourquoi toutes ces affaires louches?
Shady business. I do not consider our business as shady. It is merely the circumstances which make it appear as such. Ultimately, it's a simple bargain. We offer the people safety, and they pay us for it. No different from what the guards do for the noblemen.
La différence, c'est que les nobles choisissent les gardes qu'ils embauchent.
Fair point. However, if we were to permit the people down here to form their own militias, it would merely be a matter of moons until these militias would turn into gangs and start fighting each other. We ensure stability, and all we ask for in return is a small tribute. Those who have nothing to give do not need to pay.
Et si quelqu'un vous crée des problèmes, vous vous débarrassez de lui, son tribunal sans procès.
Ah, yes, the tribunal. The epitome of law and order, isn't it? But yes, I see why our ways of delivering justice might seem barbaric to you. You would think differently about it if you had spent some years in my position.
Alors pourquoi choisir l'autre ville comme base d'opération? Pourquoi ne pas aller dans un endroit plus isolé?
Why? Because the Undercity is the place our movement was born. I have considered a change of location several times, but the more I thought about it, the more I came to realize the perks of this place. For example, it is far easier to spread the Rawless from here than it would be from a secluded monastery somewhere in the mountains. Not to mention the history this place now has.
Vous dites que vous ne pouvez rien faire de plus pour ces gens? Que vous ne pourriez pas rendre leur vie meilleure?
Maybe, maybe not. But you need to understand it is neither my intent to cause suffering nor to change the world for the better. I am a scientist whose goal it is to achieve transcendence for my lambs and for myself. That is all.
Non, je vais couper mon micro un instant, mais je vais continuer les dialogues. La façon de les Ralaim se saluer les uns les autres, Ralatachera, on dirait du kiranien.
Well observed. Yes, it is. When I created the Rawless, I drew inspiration from a myriad of philosophical, religious, and spiritual writings, and some of these were Kyranian. Relata Shera means the variety of things. See the Relata. I see the Relata. The Relata knows. Take your pick. Good question. I suppose it is because you are different somehow. You have a presence that fascinates me, and even though I do not understand why it does, it was enough to spark my interest. It is.
Vous êtes donc âgé de plus de 400 ans. Comment ça est possible?
Ask the Lightborn. Extending one's life a little is not as hard as you may think. But I am not immortal, if that is what you wanted to know.
Ce rêve que j'ai eu, c'est vous qui me l'avez envoyé? Comment avez-vous fait?
I'm afraid an appropriate answer would take more time than we can spare. Suffice it to say that psionics is a powerful school when mastered.
J'ai une question concernant la chambre de peinture.
I will try to answer. I'm afraid I don't have an answer to that. It could be that we see what the Butcher of Ark saw, but I do not think that will happen. As I said, the room always shows us that which we must see. It has the power to change us, but what this change ultimately looks like depends on our intentions as we enter it. Forgive me. What I want to say is, I believe the room is the embodiment of what we have always aspired to, of what we have always wanted. It is the key to our deepest desires, whatever they may be. There are plans, but I do not expect that to happen. Allow me to answer with another question. Of all the characteristics that make you the person you are, which one is paramount? Your breasts, the slit between your thighs, or that which allows you to have this conversation with me?
C'est une question rhétorique. Mon esprit, bien sûr.
Exactly. If I were to extract your consciousness and transfer it into a new artificial body, you'd still be the same person, only in a different vessel. Gender is just another asinine attribute we wrongly identify ourselves with. Isn't it ludicrous if you think about it? We are so proud of what apparently separates us from animals, yet we blindly submit ourselves to the domination of our flesh. Young, old, beautiful, hideous, man, woman, all descriptors of something ultimately irrelevant.
Intéressant.
It is, isn't it?
Cet endroit ressemble plus à un laboratoire qu'au quartier d'un guide spirituel. Pourquoi?
Probably because I never considered myself a spiritual leader. I am a scientist. In fact, I don't think much of religion. Knowledge, introspection, and silence are the keys to spiritual growth, not blind obedience to the rules as religion preaches it. Ask.
Ok. Bon bah... Sacré... Et en fait, attends, question. Padré. Demi qu'il est, hein. Ok, ok. Ok, ok. En fait, oui, c'est vrai que à part de là, on peut directement dire qu'on se rejoint à la taverne du Valois. Oupsie. Ça va, petite erreur, c'est bon. Bon, ah, attendez un instant. Bon. Petite erreur. Petite erreur. 3 fois rien, 3 fois rien. On va juste. On va faire ça. Hein. C'est tout.
A Sunchild, I bet you came to watch those fools cut their guts open in the dust pit. Well, that's the only reason you snobs ever come down here.
Mais calme-toi. Jusqu'à récemment, c'est moi qui ouvrais des bides. Ah.
What the? Oh, you. I take it you accepted the father's invitation.
Oui.
Tell me. I see. Though I still don't understand why the father wanted you personally. That's not like him at all. Either way, now comes the critical part. This expedition is the only chance we're going to get. The fact that he assigned us both to the same group is a good start.
Qu'en est-il du troisième mercenaire? Alors, c'est le deuxième mercenaire et le troisième larron. Comment pourrons-nous le convaincre de se joindre à notre cause?
Join our cause? We don't. We kill him the first chance we get. The last thing we need is an additional risk.
Très bien.
Well then, I suggest you head to the temple as soon as possible. I'll probably arrive with the father.
Savez-vous quoi que ce soit sur ce temple? Pourquoi est-il si dangereux?
No idea. Let's just prepare for the worst.
Très bien, à la prochaine.
Until then, I'm counting on you.
Bon, tu peux. Tu peux compter sur moi. Ah, il y aura beaucoup de choses à couper dans l'épisode parce que j'ai fait des petites bêtises, mais au moins comme ça. Cette fois, c'est bon. Je n'ai pas le choix. Ça. Ça consciencie le travail. Bon. Eh bien écoutez, on s'arrête là. C'est la petite fontaine la scène que les Pyréens. Je vous remercie d'avoir suivi. Je vous dis à la prochaine. Prenez soin de vous. Prenez soin des vôtres. Le gros bisou. Ciao, ciao.